Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we are from class CS23018 are going to present our group project for the subject ICT 450 database design and development. I am Mohamad Azan bin Amit and with me Mohamad Hijan bin Abdur Jalil, Khairul Aiman bin Zulkifli, Ahmad Syauqi Nafis bin Muhammad Yusof, and Islah Hassanuldin bin Shamsul. Our group project title is the Babathriftship Database System. Before we continue with the database system itself, I would like to present about the Babathriftship background. This company is an online business that sells pre-loved and vintage clothes. The owner decided to use a social media platform, Instagram, as main platform to promote and sell their product. They utilize all the functions available on Instagram, such as story and live, to increase their sales, as well as allowing them to sell their products directly at distance. During their life, the customer can buy directly by commenting to their live, and it will be screenshotted as their record. Moreover, the customers may chat with the owners through the Instagram for any enquiries or to purchase their items. Besides, the sellers use the application WhatsApp as the main medium of communication. The conversation between the customers and the sellers regarding the order details as well as the customer details will be screenshotted and kept as records. Um, the current data management system used by Babathriftship is by using application notes in the owner's mobile phone. They record and keep the data such as the total capital, the total sales, the total expense, and the total profits in the notes. However, um, this current system used by Babathriftship has posed many problems in terms of the productivity, the efficiency of the system itself, as well as the data and system security. Um, the current system has a very weak security system. The application notes, WhatsApp, and the photo gallery where all the screenshots are being kept are only locked by an application lock. Thus, it can be easily accessed or hacked by other people. The data can be manipulated, stolen, or used for a wrong purpose. In the company background history, their their Instagram account had once been hacked. This shows that their current system could also be hacked by someone at any time and has a high risk of the data manipulation. Um, Besides that, the company risks of losing the data. The current system does not provide any backup system. Therefore, they cannot retrieve the data that has been deleted accidentally. The company also faces a difficulty in backtracking the data. Currently, they record manually the data regarding the transaction, the orders, as well as other uh, data related to the business without having a proper designated and fixed place for storing the data. This can lead to unforeseeable errors in the future. For instance, if there is somehow an error during calculating the gross sales resulted by an untallied, untallied amount, it can be hard to find the source of the error considering that the data comes from different platforms and applications. This will consume a lot of time for tracking down the data from one application to another. Therefore, it will decrease the productivity of the business. That's all for me. I would like to invite Hijan to continue with the business rules and the objective of the project.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Hijan bin Abdur Jalil. My number student is 2021106251. I will present objectives and business rules. Objectives. First, to analyze the system currently used by the company and its problems. Second, to design a database management system that will solve the problems caused by the company's current system. And third, to develop a database system that manages data efficiently by using Microsoft Access. Moving to business rules. 1. Customer makes one or many purchases. Each purchase is made by a customer. 2. A purchase has one or many products. Each product may be bought in 0, 1 or many purchases. 3. A staff manages one or many purchases made and made by the customer. Each purchase is managed by a staff. 4. A supplier supplies one or many products. Each product is supplied by one supplier. A dispatcher makes one or many shipments. Each shipment is done by a dispatcher. And 6. A shipment ships one order. An order may be shipped in a shipment. Thank you.
Greetings, my name is Khairul Zulkifli. My student ID is 2021168259. And today I would like to talk about the Babathriftship ERD. From here we have 8 entities, with one being a composite or bridge entity, which is the purchase detail. The other entities are customer, purchase, shipment, dispatcher, supplier, product, and staff. So for all the relationship, the customer makes a purchase, which is a one-to-many. A purchase has many product, or product has many purchase, which is a many-to-many relationship, which therefore the composite entity has been created. For the staff, is the staff manage the purchase, which is a one-to-many. The supplier supplies product, which is a one-to-many as well. And for the dispatcher, is a one-to-many. The dispatcher makes shipments. For the shipments and purchase, where the shipment ships the purchase, which is a one-to-one relationship. From there, the customer has a lot of attributes, while the primary key is CUS ID, or you could say customer ID. The purchase primary key is purchase ID, with its foreign key as customer ID and staff ID. For the primary key for shipment is tracking number, and the foreign key is purchase ID and dispatcher ID. and dispatcher ID is the primary key of the dispatcher. Supplier ID is the primary key of supplier. Product ID is the primary key for product. Staff ID is the primary key for staff. But the composite entity, which is the purchase detail, primary key and foreign key are the same, and therefore it is purchase ID and product ID. That is all. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Syauqi Nafis bin Yusof, student ID 2021127389. Today I will be continuing with the demonstration of the program. So first of all, upon opening the database, we are greeted with the login form. So let's say if I enter the wrong input, there will be an error that says error username or password. So I will be logged in with the correct info that the programmer has set. And there we go. It said welcome, indicating that we have proceeded with the login. And then we are greeted with the navigation form. In the navigation form, there are a few tabs. First one being customer form. Second is purchase form. The third one is shipment form, product form, supply form, dispatcher, staff, and finally the report. So first of all, we'll start with the customer form. As you can see, these are the form for the customer, and these are the records. The customer ID, salutation, first name, last name, phone number, address, city, postcode, state, and country. Now, I will add a new register. By pressing new record, I can add a new record. So let's see, the latest customer ID is 145, so I will put here 146. Sorry, 146. For salutation, I will put Mr. I'll just use my name to make things easy. Phone number 019-257-4362. Okay. City, postcode, state, and finally the country. Then I press save to save the record. Now my name is part of the customer record. And to confirm this, I will show the customer report here to see if my name is in the report. And there we go. Customer ID 146 Ahmad Syauqi. It's right here. It means that my name is in the register right now. So let's go back to the customer form. Next, let's go to the supplier form. Before we start making any purchases, I want to enter a new info for the supplier that supplies the product to the shop. So as you can see here, there are a few records already. Let's see. Okay, so the final record is at 507. So if I add a new record, 508. Let's see, let's add 508. The name, let's put a random name. That's ABC. And let's just put a random number here. The address, I'll just put a random address as well. save it. So now it is part of the supplier record. Let's check in the supplier report here. As you can see, 508 ABC Vintage code. This shows that the supplier is in the register. Now, let's go back to the supplier form. Now let's go to the staff form. So for the staff form, there are staff ID, first name, last name, phone number, address, city, postcode, state, country. These are pretty much the same for the others. So for the last staff is 1008. So I add a new record for 1009. Let's just put my brother's name here to make things easy. Address is my name, so address, let's just put a random number and a random name. For the address, let's just put a random number and a random road. As usual, and save. Now to show that the record has been saved, let's take a look at the report for the staff form. As you can see, staff ID 1009, first name Ahmad Solihin is here. It means that the record is saved. Now let's go to the dispatcher. Currently there are 3 delivery company. So let's add a new record for the 4th one. Number 01905. Let's put a random number and a random address here. And save. And once again, to check if it is safe or not, let's go to the report for the dispatcher report. Let's take a look at the bottom. For speedy delivery is here. Okay, for the product, there is product ID, product name, size, buy price, quantity in stock, selling price, and supplier ID. The latest record is at 140. So let's go to 141. Let's see a random product. Free size to make it easy. Ini, let's say you buy at 7 ringgit and you sell it for 9 ringgit. The quantity stock, random number. For supplier ID, you can choose from the drop down menu here. This will show the choices from the records that we have saved in the supplier form. So let's put it here and press save. Now if you go to the report for the product report, the product report shows the products that have been supplied, and it is sorted by the supplier. So let's see. For the supplier 508, there is one right here. Beanie, free size, 7 ringgit. for buying price and the sell price is at 9 ringgit. Okay. Next, let's go to the purchase form. In the purchase form, we are required to fill in the purchase ID, the date, status of the purchase, customer ID, and staff ID, and finally the purchase details. So, let's start off with the new record. For the new record here, for the purchase ID, let's put 96. So for the date, you can choose from the calendar button here. So I will choose today, or just press today here. And then for the status, of course it's pending because it's a new purchase. So for the customer ID, let's just use the latest customer ID I just saved, which is my name at 146. And then for the staff ID, let's use the latest one I just saved as well, 1009. So for the purchase, for the product ID, you can choose from the drop-down menu here. So let's buy the beanie. As you can see, it refers to the beanie from the product form just now that I just saved. The quantity, if I set it as 2, I'm sorry. If I set it as 2, then the total should be 18 ringgit. It calculates the amount. So if I were to buy another product, which is the vintage hands custom tie-dye shirt, I put it as 1, then it will total up to 23 ringgit. So once I have filled all the required info, I'll press save, and it should be in the purchase report right here for customer number 146, order ID 96, and the date is today. It is pending. This is the staff ID, and this is the product ID, and this is the quantity that the customer have bought for the particular product. Okay, now let's go to the shipment form. So let's add a new record. The last one is okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so for the tracking number, okay, so for the shipment form, let's start with the tracking number. Let's just put some random letter here and a few number, and with MY because that's how most tracking number ends with. Shipment date, let's set it today. Dispatcher ID, let's add 4, which is the new company that I have just added, speedy delivery. And the purchase ID, set it to 96, which is the latest record that I have saved. Let's put saved. Now let's just change the purchase form here to shipped because I have shipped it. Now let's see in the report. For the purchase report, let's see if the status has changed to shipped. So you can see the status changed to shipped here. So I have demonstrated that the forms are working well and we can add records. Now let's go to the reports. I have also demonstrated that the form is working well and that the data and the records go directly into the report for the latest record for every forms. Now let's take a look at some report that can be made. For the first one, let's take a look at this report right here. So this is the total customer by state, and what can be extracted from this report is the number of customer that buy is the number of customer that buys from the shop from these particular states. For Perak, initially there was 4, but because there's a new customer, which is me, it adds up to 5. So this shows the state over here, and over here it shows the total number of customer. Then next is the total purchase managed. For this one, it shows the staff ID and the total purchase managed by them. So for the 1009 staff ID, which is the latest staff that I have saved, the total purchase managed is 1 because of the latest purchase that this particular person managed. Now this report is useful in case the company wants to make an event like the employee of the year, maybe. Total purchase managed for the most purchase managed, the more rewards that the staff will get. That is one possibility. Then let's check for the product sales and profit. For the product sales and profit, this is sorted by the product ID. As you can see, it goes from 100 finally to 141. Product ID 141. As you can see, this is the latest product that I have just added, which is the beanie. And the later customer bought 2 of them, so it shows 2 right here, and this is the profit. The reason why it is 4 because from the supplier we buy it at 7 ringgit and we sell it at 9 ringgit. So for each product, for each beanie, we will get a profit of 2 ringgit. So times 2 of that, we get 4 ringgit over here. This is useful because we can see which product made the most profit. Then let's take a look at the total purchase and quantity bought report. This is sorted by the customer ID, and it shows how much purchases that particular customer have done and how many total quantity of item that is bought within those purchases. So let's take a look at the latest one. The later customer only made 1 purchase and he bought 3 items, which is 2 beanie and 1 shirt. This is also useful because you can deduce which customer is loyal to the shop. Therefore, you can give them some sort of rewards to make them become more attracted to our service. Next, the annual sales and profit report. Now this is sorted by the year. So for the 2020, the total quantity sold, this refers to the amount of items sold in the year. And this is the profit. This is the total profit from all the products that has been bought by the customers for the year. Now this is useful. Over a longer period, you can plot a graph to see whether the sales are dropping across the year, and therefore you can make the measures in order to make sure that the sales continuously go up instead of going down. And you can deduce if the actions that you have done for the particular year, whether they are good or not. Therefore, you can take measures on improving the service of the shop. Next, for the monthly sales and profit report. So it shows for the month of August, for the month of May, for the month of April, and so on. So for the month of August 2021, as you can see, total quantity sold is 3. This refers to the latest purchase that I have just added for the 2 beanie and 1 shirt, and the total profit is 10 ringgit. Now this report is useful because you can figure out which month in the year have been making the best profit, and in case that this month have a bad profit compared to the last month, then for the next month you can make you can take different actions to see if things will improve or go even worse. The next one is total type of item supplied. Now this is for the supplier. It is sorted by the supplier ID and it shows the total items supplied. Now these numbers do not refer to the quantity, but instead they refer to the type of item that is supplied by a particular supplier. So for example here, for the latest supplier here, as you can see, I added a new product which is the M beanie, and the total item supplied is 1. This refers to the beanie that I have just added. And finally, the total delivery made by the dispatcher. Now for the dispatcher report, it is sorted by the dispatcher ID. And for the fourth one, which is speedy delivery that I have just added, the total shipment is 1. This is for the shipment that is made for the latest purchase by the latest customer that I have just made. And that's all for the demonstration. Thank you.